Hey. Start right now. Not too long, I don't think. We were going to start earlier. We're just doing one right quick. Tomorrow's fine, I think. Okay. There we go.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Clint. Welcome back to an episode of Everything Star Wars. That's right, Everything Star Wars. We are going to be talking about Episode 4. Not a Phantom Menace, but we're going to be talking about Episode 4 of Obi-Wan Kenobi. But before we do that, guys, do me a favor. Subscribe to the channel. And if you want to help out the channel, you like what you're seeing here, you can help us out at Patreon. That's right. Patreon.com/Clint Likes Everything. Let's get my entertainment aficionados in the house. Everything aficionados, assemble. Boom. What's happening, gang?
What's up?
Not much.
Aloha.
Boom.
We're going to be talking episode 1 through 3, though. Talking what we think about episode, like what we think is going to happen.
We're going to talk a little bit about all kinds of fun stuff today. A little bit about all kinds of fun stuff. I'm
Tang.
I'm missing my
As long as we're not going to talk about episode 9, Rise of Skywalker, then I'm fine.
We are not going to talk about episode 9. How you guys doing tonight?
I'll leave right now if that's the case. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. You guys talk to each other for a second. I got to fix one thing. One of my graphics messed up, and it's just bugging the hell out of me. So I'm going to let you guys talk for a second. Look out. There's a giant Star Wars emblem coming in.
Oh, my God.
Everybody brace yourselves, guys.
Everybody get ready.
Boom. Oh!
There it is.
Every other day of the week, I got to deal with that giant Star Wars emblem coming in. Just traffic's backed up because the giant Star Wars emblem. Blah blah blah.
Waiting for us down here.
I'm not playing anything. That was weird. Hey, look at there. We got an Ewok in the house.
Special guest star.
Nice.
This is just unprofessional. Holy smokes.
Well, I'm pretty excited to talk about episode 1 through 3. I've been waiting for the show forever. It seems like forever.
I'm so excited to talk about this stuff. There we go. We
announced it, 10 years ago?
It's been announced for ages, and they've been talking about doing an Obi-Wan series, and I said, yeah, sure they will. Yeah, they are. We're going to bring back Ewan McGregor. Yeah, sure they are. And they did it. and it's here, and it's good. Like, I've really been enjoying this show. The cast has been great. The story has been good so far. It has its issues. It's a TV show, and there's some little things that are kind of funny. There's memes and things about that, but yeah, I mean, it's been fantastic. Yeah. What do you think, Michael? How have you enjoyed this series so far?
It's so hard at some point where you've been waiting for something for so long, and I think initially it probably didn't help. I was a little drunk when I first watched the first, I think 2 episodes. They came out. I got home, like 2 a.m. and I was a little iffy, and I kind of did a rewatch, and I was also watching with somebody who was very into, the Obi-Wan and Ewan McGregor and the prequels. I think it really helped, kind of make me enjoy it a little bit more. And ever since then the third episode came in and really just blew my socks off. So I've been pretty excited about it. I've been enjoying it. I think we're in a great place by the end of episode 3, and I'm really excited to see what they do with the second half of the series so far. I think people have their gripes, but that's Star Wars, right? Everybody's gonna hate everything, and Star Wars fans are kind of the worst sometimes. But we can get deeper into how people feel about it, some discussion. But so far, I'm excited for what's coming up. And Ewan McGregor, I mean, he's just great. He's just great to watch as Obi-Wan.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you who have not caught us before, we got Mike Navarrete. We call him the Nav, and we got Curtis. We also call him CB3. Yeah, that's right. And I'm Clint Baker. So hope you're having a good night tonight. I agree with you, man. I've really looked forward to this for a while, and I always brace myself. Please don't screw anything up. But as you can see on the channel name, Clint likes everything. That's the big joke that I'm gonna. Hey, Clint will like it no matter what. But with Star Wars, I'm just glad I'm not at work when I'm watching bad Star Wars. And when I'm watching good Star Wars, I'm really excited. You know what I mean? And so it's like this show. I got goosebumps. It started and it kicked in, and they start filling it because they're filling in the gaps of what I've known since I was a toddler. The very first memories of mine are Star Wars memories, and all of a sudden they're like filling these gaps, things that I've always wondered, things that I never even considered. You know what I mean? And they're putting it all together, and Lucas waited forever to make the prequels, and they were a little hokey at first, and it's funny, it's really amusing to me that when the prequels came out, all the old school people were like, "Oh, this is garbage," they hated it, right. And now you have the prequel people are grown-ups, and then the new stuff comes out, and everybody's like, "Oh, this is garbage. It's not good like the prequels." You know what I mean? And what's funny is that, and I've said this before, but we're probably a decade from now, we're probably going to have some people that grew up with The Force Awakens and all of these shows, and whatever's happening then, they're going to be like, "This is crap." You know what I mean? It's really kind of funny. Everybody has their own Star Wars, and
like 10 years to appreciate.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, that's kind of how you want to do a franchise, honestly. But at the same time, like the new trilogy, I'm an old guy. Okay, get over it. But like I was not as bad on the prequels as some people were. I wasn't as down on the prequels as some people, as a lot of people. But at least it was pre-planned. We like it was a coherent story, whereas the new trilogy just isn't, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure. They think they came out and said that it was not written from day one as a trilogy, which you're doing. What are you doing? J.J. Abrams. God, you're the worst. J.J. Abrams is the fucking worst. That guy's like, well, I don't know. It's a mystery box, and I set up all this stuff, and then they had him come back for that last one, and
Voodoo Booty is a mystery box. We're not talking about that. We're talking about Star Wars, okay? The original trilogy, with all the qualms you can have with it, there's a bunch you can pick apart, and there's parts that I don't like. But it was a coherent story, and it made sense. You can tell that they may have tweaked some things, but it was the general idea was there. With the new one, it's not. But at the same time, you're making a point. Like, that's kind of how you run a franchise. Like, that's how you keep new viewers coming in and stuff. Because a lot of, I'll tell you what, kids would much rather watch the new trilogy than the whole 45-minute Senate argument in like episode
It's
one
made
or
for
episode
children. And now
like
here's a 40-minute legislative, session.
session. Yeah, C-SPAN, basically C-SPAN with aliens.
Yeah, exactly. Vote of no confidence. The kids are gonna love that one.
What's funny is this is a show for kids. You know what I mean? So you got kids that are your. I mean, I remember Ewoks, and I was like, hey, these are great. You know what I mean? And then you had a bunch of people that are making fun of Ewoks. Well, yeah, if you're 50 years old, this is not made for you, but they're making it for you, and they're making it for the kids, and it's made for everyone. And I think it's really cool. I really like what they're doing with this show. It's filmed on a volume stage, which for those of you who have no idea what that is, it's but the prequels they did with a green screen, most of the stuff. And with the volume stage, just picture a whole bunch of TVs glued together, and it's a giant screen, and using video game engines. They're the way you can move around in a video game and look around. They use that technology and synced it up with their cameras so they can film and have a background, whatever you want, and film people, and they can act in the real, what looks like the real environment. Another thing that's cool is with lighting, they don't have to do special lighting just right, because the sunlight coming down from the LCD screens and everything, it mocks real lighting. So it's almost like it's so real. This has made them have the ability to do some really amazing sets and things that are virtual sets.
You can just pump it out a lot faster.
They crank it out, and it's 4 times quicker. They don't have to build a whole bunch of stuff. Half the time, they could draw the stuff. They can film an actual location and then add things to it. There's so much. It's it's limitless possibilities. But what you do have limits on is grand shots, big wide shots and stuff. You'll notice a lot of these shots in just about everything are filmed up close. It's like real close because the stage is only so big. So there are some limitations, and you start noticing things. They've been doing.
That's a good point. That's a really.
I think we got some pretty in the most recent episode 3 though, that farm town or whatever, the mining colony they were at. We got some pretty big range shots in that. We got some hills. And I feel like that one seemed more than anything that they were like on location for.
And Deborah Chow, the director, she's been involved in all of these shows since Mandalorian. She's been involved, at least directed an episode or 2, and she's gotten to learn from this. And she's one of the most experienced ones with this stuff. But I think she's done an excellent job of maybe seeing where other directors like Robert Rodriguez or other people that have worked on things, after watching her own stuff and then watching what other directors are doing, I'm sure she noticed that and says, hey, you know what? A lot of these...
Let's go to a location.
I think or find a way to draw a location or something that simulate a location that looks big and grand, and like that planet that they end up going to, which we'll get into that in a second. But there's big wide open spaces and a truck, but it's funny. Then you get to a point where they're hitching a ride, and it's them sitting in the back of the truck, and it looks good, but it also reminds me of like old TV shows where like it's clearly they're in a car, you know what I mean, like and things. So like which are super fake, but.
That was such a great scene too. I don't know if we're gonna run by it episode through episode, but
let's real quick. Let's go through the cast a little bit, and we'll talk about some of the characters, and then we'll discuss the story. How about that?
Sure, yeah, for sure.
Let's see, because we got some cool characters in this show. That's the wrong thing.
Well, and while you're doing this, go ahead.
Go ahead, Curtis.
No, I was just going to say, so, the Star Wars and Star Trek fans, there are differences and stuff like that. Star Trek came with the idea of, all men living in peace, or men and women, mankind living in peace, and, this grand idea of this unity and stuff like that. That was ingrained within the show. Star Wars, and that's the thing, I think it was a subtone, but started as, just this fun movie kind of, franchise and stuff. But like one of the things that has always been inspiring to me and they show it throughout the series as well, so it's still going on, is man's acceptance of technology and nature at the same time. Like they have these grand like supercomputer cities and stuff like that, and there's just like giant crazy forests right next door, or connected within it, and like, or they're living in the desert, but they're using technology to harness or farm water and stuff like that, and like that, it's like that has been ingrained in me, and they're carrying it throughout the show, is that like this idea of man living with the planet, even though you got technology right now, we're doing a lot of things to run the planet down, but Star Wars kind of ingrained that in me when I was a kid. Like you can still have technology, you can still do these grand, like, laser sword things, and but at the same time you can still live next to nature and have it be a dominant part of your planet, and work with it instead of against it. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I like that. You know what else I really like? That they take just as much time and care into creating animals that are not as much the like sentient, like beings that can
Dominant
communicate,
species, yeah.
but like like the Yuppie camel thing that he's
slicing off a little bit of that giant wing creature, whatever they're harvesting at the beginning.
Yeah, it looks like a giant. It looks like a big.
Is that allowed? I feel like, is he allowed to do that? It seems like
Sting-
someone would be keeping an eye on him.
I feel like that guy would.
way he would
There's
stop
the
him.
boss.
He takes one every episode.
Are we not paying attention to that? The guy's just like, it's fine, I guess. Or
he's using
You're
all of his
not
Jedi powers.
noticing me.
Yeah,
You would
all
think
of
that.
his Jedi powers
You
are
would think
going
so,
to that
but-
one little slice of meat.
I mean, it just seems like that guy wasn't very cool with paying a fair day's wage, So I don't think he'd be super cool with stealing a piece of the sky salmon or whatever that thing's called.
Well, let's take a look at this cast real quick, and then we'll talk about So Hayden Christensen, we'll start with him. So far, we haven't got to see a lot of him. But what we have seen is pretty cool in the Bacta tank, and then seeing it. Obi-Wan has a hallucination kind of at one point, and sees him in the robe, and that was kind of creepy all of a sudden. I'm excited that they brought Hayden back because they didn't have to. They could.
Yeah, they could. Yeah, you're right. They
Yeah.
paid for it. It's him in the suit, right? In episode 3. It's what
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's out there. I
It-
think we're gonna get a helmetless duel maybe at some point. We're not just gonna put Hayden in the suit and not expose that face at some point, right?
There's been some speculation that maybe they will do some kind of flashbacks.
Okay.
That maybe like right now Hayden right now Obi-Wan is all burned up. After this last episode,
I might need a little break. A
he
little rest,
he
yeah.
might end up in a Bacta tank, healing, and it seems like everyone, whether it be Boba Fett or Anakin, who's in a Bacta tank, they end up in a weird state where they end up like thinking back on their lives. You know what I mean? And
Sure.
so he might end up in there thinking about some, like, they might do a montage of all the good times they had together, good times, and with him and Obi-Wan.
I'd love to see it. I'd be a big fan.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
Yeah, Curtis, what did you think when you found out Hayden Christensen was coming back? A lot of the prequel fans went ape shit. You know what I mean? Like
that, but again, at the same time, like, so I'm wondering how they're going to do it. So we have seen a couple views of him, and in flashback, it will make a lot of sense. However, like once he's Darth Vader, like, the only thing I could see him being like in a duel or something is if Obi-Wan's like, Vader can beat me, but Anakin could never beat me, so he takes his, something along those lines, like,
Yeah.
because otherwise he is Darth Vader now.
I don't need my helmet
yeah.
to beat you.
Yeah,
Just
breathing is
breathe.
not that
Yeah,
hard.
exactly.
But and that's things like we can get into in a minute, but obviously it's not a fair fight right now.
Yeah.
So maybe he could even be like, look, I can, I'll beat you as Anakin and like take all his stuff off.
Kind of do a
But-
Predator
but I-
style.
Yeah, I was just
gonna
say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I don't see that coming, but like otherwise, like I really wonder. I think that you made a good point. It's probably going to be a lot in flashbacks and stuff.
yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to find out though. I'm like, and it might just be a respect thing. Like, hey, we're gonna give you some work.
For sure.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
could have given this job to any stunt guy to walk around. Hey, you look like and honestly, they have to put lifts on him because he's not that tall.
Yeah.
Like Vader's supposed to be taller. So the original guy who played Vader was tall. So. They could very easily have just got a super tall guy to be Vader and
Get Kane Hodder coming in there. The original Jason. Coming in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Shitless for that guy now.
but instead, hey, let's give Hayden
He's got
some
a
work.
light machete.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's give Hayden some.
Where are the teenagers?
Give him some work and also on the press tour, the fans will love it. You know what I mean? Like,
For sure.
So even if he doesn't get a lot of FaceTime, it's worth it for him because when was the last Hayden Christensen movie you
Right,
saw? You
right.
know what I mean? So, but let's.
But that guy's got. He's got it. He's to be fair, he's gotta not want to do acting. I'm sure there's some articles we can look up or there's that. But because I mean, he's a good-looking kid. He was good in the movies. Like
Yeah, you
he's
get
not
typecast like that,
necessarily
though.
typed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But at the same time, he did a couple movies afterwards. Right afterwards, but he could absolutely work now and be no problem. I mean, what's his name? The Terminator 2 has been working for years. The
Yeah, the guy
Liquid
can't
Metal
remember who's
Terminator.
been working for years.
Yeah.
No, the liquid metal Terminator. He was Peacemaker's dad and stuff like that.
Robert
you
Patrick.
think,
Yeah.
Robert Patrick. Yeah, you think people get typecast, and then that's the thing. It wasn't, it was the franchise. It wasn't necessarily them. So I mean, that kid could act.
Well, you look
he
at
could be-
Mark Hamill, and he didn't do anything. After being Luke.
Oh, he did tons of voiceover work.
But
I mean,
voiceover
he's the
for sure.
Joker,
Yeah.
But like,
and
you
he
put him on
did do a
screen.
bunch of stuff. You just don't want to see it necessarily.
Yeah. As long as
I've got a film library in there of movies that Mark Hamill did.
I think he was like in the Omen 6. He was like a priest, right?
as long as you don't have any scripts that talk about sand for
he hates sand.
for Hayden. Yeah, he does.
Or
Well, let's move on, man. Because this show's not about Anakin. This show is about Obi-Wan. And let's talk about Ewan McGregor for a second. Ewan McGregor,
Just hands down, amazing. He's killing it. I mean, just seeing him as Obi-Wan again. He's the best thing in the prequels that came out of it. And
besides,
I heard him. Well, right. So I heard him describe the way that this was going to be done was very much in the vein of Logan, that kind of movie, very character driven, and you can see it. You just got a broken Obi-Wan. This guy's 10 years removed from opening up with Order 66 at the very beginning, and just kind of really showing exactly how far this guy has fallen. And I think he's just portraying it beautifully at this point. It just breaks your heart to see him in a place like this.
yeah, it really does. And the thing with Obi-Wan, it's people are saying, why isn't he using the Force? Why is this that? And that's not I'm not talking about you, Curtis. But
I don't say it like that. I don't say it like that.
Actually, I thought it was a perfect impression. I couldn't tell who was talking.
But no, why isn't he using the Force? And the reason, he's not doing anything is because he's a broken guy. He basically had to kill his best friend, his Padawan. Basically had to kill him. He's like a brother to him. So it leaves him to die, but he had to do it. It was his duty. Then all of the clone troopers turn on them, kill all of his friends and students and everyone he knows. Everyone's murdered, and then people
And he set up the clone. He basically hooked up the whole clone.
It's true.
army.
That is very true.
And I
basically-
didn't even think about
Yeah.
that. He's responsible for a lot of that, and all of these things. The last thing he could do is protect the boy. That's his one task, and he's like, at least I'm not going to let this one turn to the dark side and be that's the least I could do besides everyone I know and love getting murdered and children and everything else. So and there's no use in fighting because there's so many. And also by the time that this happens, that show starts, we've got the Inquisitors. So he also knows that there's Jedi that have been turned to the dark side that are out there hunting. You know what I mean? He's like, not only do I have to go kill some people I probably already was friends with that got turned, that's heartbreaking in itself. So the best thing he could do is hide and just watch Luke from afar and stay there. And he's like, this is the last thing. I can't screw this up. And that's why he doesn't want to help anybody, and that's why he's like, it's no use. Just leave me alone. And I also talked about this before, but when he's on a mission, he is hardcore. Like in Clone Wars, he faked his own death, didn't even tell Anakin. It broke Anakin's heart, and he thought he was dead. And like when he finally revealed, like, hey, I wasn't dead. I was actually had my face augmented for this undercover thing. Anakin was so pissed, like, you didn't tell me, you let me think you died. That even helped push him to the dark side a little bit, I think. Like all of these disappointments that the top ranking Jedi Council people always left him out or didn't trust him because they thought he was too powerful and all these things. So but yeah, like to not tell your Padawan and to fake your own death and do it for a while to get in with the bounty hunters, it's like he gets in there. So if he's doing something and he's undercover or whatever, it's like, hey man, hey, I need your help, Obi-Wan. He's like, sorry bro, I'm on task. I'm watching the kid. That's my mission. I'm not gonna screw it up. And I'm also scared.
It almost seemed like an excuse at this point, though, too, where he's just like, "Oh, no, I got my duties to the boy." But even he gave that like a toy to Owen, and he like just throws it right back at him. He's like, "Well, you know, is he? How's he doing? And is he showing?" And he's not even really making that much of an effort to go see if he's force sensitive. He's still just on the outskirts. He keeps saying his duties to the boy, but he's not doing anything to get him ready to be a Jedi. He's literally just watching him. And so he says he's like on mission, but he's more like just refusing to do anything and using that as an excuse. He's like, "Oh no, I'm here for this kid, but really I'm just gonna hide in this cave." You know?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I don't think he's interested in jumping back in there, because even in episode 4, you know, Luke has to go find him. He's not like seeking him out. He's like hanging out in the desert.
Yeah.
R2's the reason that they find each other is because R2's being a little shit again, driving off in the middle of the night, you know? So it's not even really Obi-Wan at that point.
Leia sent him. And they're setting that up.
Right. But I was just
fine.
saying, like, even Obi-Wan's still not seeking Luke out at that point.
Yeah.
He's still not trying to train him.
What bothers me is that you're going to train potentially the next most powerful Jedi or Sith in the history of the universe, and you can't use your Force powers after 10 years? Like, how are you going to train Luke in the Force when you don't know Jack because you hadn't done Jack? And like it's not, if you've spent your whole life training on something. There's nothing besides maybe video games like that I've spent my whole life training that hard on. You know, there are people that you can that have.
You said hard on,
and they might not be as good, but they can still do it. They can still do it better than most.
Yeah, but you know, when that thing
because
kind of ruined
muscle reaction
life,
is a real thing. Like
it's not muscle. It's not muscle though. It's like a faith. And there's people who are religious that end up
no. It's a metachlorian count. It's a biological imperative.
No, but being able to use that,
we don't use that word here.
It's like a faith thing. You have to reach out and believe in it, and it's like, and there's people who are super religious that end up with their family gets killed in a car accident. It completely destroys them, and they turn their back on all that. And I think it's kind of a cross between something like that, you know.
Yep. I agree 100%. That's what's going on here.
Well, then why would Ahsoka? Why would Ahsoka, whose master was what became Darth Vader, become more powerful?
Because she's not depressed.
Yeah, she
rejects the faith entirely.
She didn't reject the faith. She rejected the council.
Completely against Jedi.
That's not the faith.
It's not a faith. It's a belief.
It's like saying, like, guys, like, I'm not a Christian anymore, but I still believe in God.
Yeah,
like that's what happened to her. She still went out and was still trying to free, like, you know, we saw in Mandalorian.
They know that with the metachlorian count, they know that the Force is a real thing.
You're a scientist, atheist who doesn't want to believe, but Vader, your ancient religion, blah blah blah. Like, don't you remember them saying that? In Star Wars?
Yeah.
It's like a religion reaching out into the Force.
Yeah, and I mean,
Not everything is science, Curtis.
you got to sever that connection. I understand why he's want to sever that. He's like, last time I would use this, and it's once again it's heartbreaking watching him wake up asking for Qui-Gon. You know, he's obviously just so lost. And yeah, and even what you said, he's been his whole life, he's been doing this, and then this Force, this let him down. Like he messed up so bad, and he's like, you know what? I'm so done with the Force. This has ruined my life. It's ruined everyone's life. I'm done with it.
I have a weird like one time I talked to a homeless guy, and I sat down. I was talking to this guy, and I was just like wondering. I was like, "Hey, man," and I was talking about like he was talking about. I was saying, "Hey, man, I've heard different things. Like, how much money do you make holding this sign up?" And he's like, "Oh man, if I get a good intersection, like right in front of this Walmart over here on the highway, man, I can make $200 or $300 in one day." And I was like, wow. And he's like, and then I could just stay drunk and not work for a week. It's great. And I'm like, and I was like, wow, that's crazy.
What intersection is that again?
Yeah, because you would think if you could make $300 in a day, you would do that several days, and maybe you could work your way out of that situation. But it's rent a room or something for and work your way out of that. And then I'm thinking, okay, well, where do you sleep? And the guy says, oh, I used to have
wherever I want, baby.
He's like, I used to have a tent, but now I sleep between these two commercial buildings on South Congress in the dirt. And I'm like, wow. So this guy gets drunk all the time and sleeps in the dirt between these two buildings. And I'm not trying to get all downer and stuff, but it was just interesting to me to talk to this guy. And this is I was actually in jail. I'd gotten arrested. This was in my 20s. I got arrested for a warrant that I didn't pay, and I had to go sit in jail for like a couple of hours, but until I could see the judge. So I'm talking to this guy, and I'm like, okay, well, and then I said, well, do you have any family that knows where you are? And he's like, well, I have a couple of sisters and stuff, and I'm like, do they know where you are? No, I haven't talked to them in probably 10 years. And I go, well, if you reached out to them, would they, you think they would let you stay with them or anything? He's like, yeah, probably, yeah, absolutely. And I was like, okay. And then I kind of quit asking him questions because I was like, wow, this guy could make a little bit of money in one day, but he doesn't want to move out of this position. It's like, not that he loves it, he's accepted where he's at and he's fine with it. And that's like, and he could go stay with his sisters, but he doesn't want to. And I feel like, and this is a whole analogy I'm bringing back to Obi-Wan. I feel like he's just defeated by the hand that he's been dealt. And like Michael said, Nab says, the Force has done nothing but hurt him. So he's like, okay, I'm done. I'm just going to exist here. I got my one duty. That's to keep an eye on the kid. And other than that, I'm just kind of done. I'm going to go ahead and cut some giant sea monsters so that I can eat and feed my camel, and I'm good. And that's enough for him, until somebody comes looking for him. He's just a defeated guy that doesn't want to do anything else.
I just don't think he's interested anymore. I think he's kind of done. He's like, what? I mean, even
being
the guy
interested
in the desert.
in being in a life and death situation is different, though. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it hasn't been that long.
10
like
years.
In 10 years, yeah, that's not that long. Like,
now, are you talking about the fight with Vader?
I'm talking, well, a lot of things, but mainly, but the fact that he like, and yeah, that you like, if he had fallen into substance abuse or something like that's a different story as well. But like, he's
Those
just
death sticks, man. Those death sticks will get you.
He's been doing spice. He's been doing spice for 10 years.
Spot.
No,
but I'm just saying, like, he hasn't, giving up on something and knowing what is right. Like, this thing is, as much as you might not believe in the Jedi creed of giving up your family and all that other bull crap that we know that isn't true. Like, family makes you stronger. It can make you weaker, absolutely, as well. But like the people around you that care about you make you stronger. That's just part of life. And
it's a distraction, Curtis.
Yeah.
But like, knowing what the Jedi does kind of teach what is right, and knowing what is right, and then like, that's not going to go away. He didn't give up on that.
But I think
like,
I just said, I think it was very firmly established that guy comes and he finds him in the desert. He's like, Master Obi-Wan. He's like, what do you? He's like, look, take that lightsaber in the middle of the desert and bury it. And he's like, I'm not gonna help you. Get out of here. And then that was a very like right and wrong scenario. And then it's seen later the guy's strung up in the middle of town. And I think like that. I mean, Obi-Wan knows what was right was to help him out, and then doesn't. And then they go and they go to this like underground railroad, and he's like, "Why are you helping?" He's asking the lady. He's like, "Why are you helping? Why are you doing this?" And she's like, "It's what's right." And he seems very much like, can't believe it. And so I think they just keep showing over and over that he's done with it. He's been done with it for a while.
He's defeated, and the stakes are too high. Like
so is it fear? Like I understand
Absolutely.
people freezing in fear. Like 100%. So he's just afraid.
He's scared. Everyone he knows got murdered.
Yeah,
and he's next.
I'm not against that. I agree with that.
And then also, like, if you fight, all that's going to do is draw more people to come after you, and you're gonna end up either getting the boy discovered, or you're gonna have to fight a bunch of battles. The best thing to do is pretend you're not a Jedi and hide, and keep an eye from afar. And another thing too is, like I was saying, when he's undercover, he's undercover. So it's like they did a good job of showing this when they have that one guy that's also like cutting meat and stuff, and he's in line. They set up that scene just to double down, and the guy's giving him half his wages. The guy's like, "But I have a family," and this is the point where a Jedi would say, maybe you should pay him what you owe him or something, and then like show his lightsaber, and they're like, okay, fine, but they showed that on purpose and they made the guy look like really oppressed and like, oh, I've got a family, and we're like, okay, cool, we're gonna see Obi-Wan step up and do something about this, but that's not who he is. If he does anything, he's going to expose himself and is going to just bring trouble. So it's like, you got to not be a Jedi anymore, and that's why he buried his stuff in the desert.
So that's I think it's out of fear, which might lead to a conversation once we get into episode 3. Like, that's what I want to talk about once we get into episode 3. I don't think it's out of I've heard people like, oh, he hadn't done it in a while, but stuff.
It's not out of.
If you training from a kid does not go away in 10 years.
Yeah, but you're going against someone who's been who is high level. But
being afraid has power more than all of us can tell.
Absolutely.
And so I want to talk about that when we talk about episode 3. So I'll stop there. I'll concede.
All right, let's just go. Let's do a speed walkthrough of these characters, because if we have a long discussion, it's going to be midnight before the next episode. And Mike, you got to open mic.
Yeah, I got like 10 minutes. Then I'm
10 minutes. All right, let's get through this. We're gonna go real quick.
But I would love to come back once again next week and talk about episode 4 when we get there. And Curtis, I think you're making a lot of great points. And I think we're at a real turning point for the series. I'm so worried because I'm like, there's only 3 episodes left. What are they going to do? But it's like at least they're an hour each. So.
There's a rumor that maybe there's going to be a handful of episodes that are bonus episodes that are a surprise, because at Celebration, I believe it was, Obi-Wan or Ewan McGregor was talking. And somebody was asking him, and he's like, "Oh, are you guys loving it?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, I'm glad you enjoyed the first couple of episodes, and I hope you enjoy 4 and 5 and 6." And then he's like, "And 8 and 9 and 10," and like everybody's like, "Wow!" going crazy. And then he's like, "Ah!" And then he dropped the mic and walked off stage. And like,
he's just trying to get that second season.
Yeah, and people were like, "Wait a minute, what?"
Ewan McGregor, baby.
That's the deal. Is he saying they're not done doing or is he saying that we said it was 6 episodes, but it's really 10?
I think
so.
I think he had a blast coming back, and he's like, "Let's do a second season. Let's go for it."
Yeah. I think
they're going to Stranger Things it in episodes 3 or 2, 7 and 8, or
make us wait like a month
6.
or something.
Yeah,
sure.
be like
We'll see what they do. But let's see here. I'm gonna look at it. Moses Ingram. She's been in the press for a bunch of stuff, but a bunch of negative fans giving her a hard time. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole, but I can say that her character has been the Joffrey of this show. Like, she was everyone hates that character. She's like, oh, she's just too pissed off. But
she's a young Sith, I think, and also I think
I'm wondering if there is an Inquisitor that is an undercover that went in, that was a rebel undercover, that is in the comics, and I'm wondering because they've gone. Oh, real quick, I'll go back to us real quick. They've gone so hard of her. Usually, when something is over the top extreme, they'll be like, "Hey, dial it back a little bit," and then get mad at these certain points. But she's so intensely pissed and over the top extreme, it makes me think that they are gonna do a flip. And to do a flip, you're gonna have to make it super dramatic. So if you make her King Joffrey and make everybody hate her, and then all of a sudden in the last episode she flips and she turns out she was actually a good guy, but she had to act like that just because you're not seeing her cut people in half and break people's necks like Vader. She's just being so over the top until the other Inquisitors tell her to stop. You never actually see her do anything. She just threatens to. You know what I mean?
I mean, she did cut that lady's hand off, though.
Oh, that's true.
You know, I think a couple things about her. I think she's in the first
You
shot
got 2 hands. You
of
got
the.
2 hands.
I think she's in the first shot of the first episode. I think that youngling is her. At
Yeah.
the opening. I think it's going to end up being her. Also, they've gotten pretty dark with some of this. I mean, you got the hand being cut off. You got the guy strung up at the village. And you got that stormtrooper getting sliced right in half in the last episode. That was pretty wild.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I couldn't believe they gave us something like that, because even when I think it was the Force Unleashed came out, and then even the new Jedi Fallen Order, they made sure that you couldn't like delimb stormtroopers. They told the video game people, they're like, no cutting stormtroopers in half. And then this show goes, and that guy falls off the tower in episode 3. And gets cut right now. I couldn't believe they did it. I was like,
dude,
it's kind of dark.
The episode that Bryce Dallas Howard directed of Boba Fett that had Mando in it.
Yeah.
And he had the dark saber, and he cut a guy right down the middle. I was like, oh, it was so awesome. And somebody spliced together a video with the music from Drowning Pool, let the bodies hit the floor. And he was swinging that thing around, and it was really hilarious. Like, it was really good. Let's see here. All right. Well, let's go to that.
Oh, yeah, there's just so much.
Yeah, the Grand Inquisitor, I think he's badass.
He's got to come back, right? He's not dead.
He's not dead. Grand Inquisitor is not dead. We're gonna see him. He gets killed by Kanan Jarrus, who is in Rebels.
Rebels, yep.
Yep. And
do we know that alien race has 2 stomachs, right?
I did not know that.
So if he get hit in the stomach, he's got not technically death kill. So there's that.
Plus, they have Bacta tanks, dude. Like, he's going to be there. I guarantee he's going to come back.
Yeah.
And also, if you look on IMDb, when you look up Rupert Friend, and it says that he's in for 5 episodes.
Okay,
so he's only been out for 1 episode. I have a feeling he's going to show up next episode.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a feeling. It could. Now, sometimes there's details on IMDb or Google, different things that are not accurate, but that's a pretty good. It's a pretty good hint that he's coming back. Fifth brother, Sung Kang.
He's doing okay. He's nice, whatever. Nothing really to write home
He's
about.
cool. Indira Varma.
Nice.
I love her. She's from Game of Thrones. Let's talk about Owen. Uncle Owen is the badass.
That big dick energy. Joel Edgar is bringing that Owen Lars around here.
Yes, dude. I like this version of Owen. I want to see a show about this dude. Like he's a badass. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like. I don't know. I feel like he'd kick some asses. In fact, if they had to, I'm just looking at his picture right now. If they had to recast Gladiator, they should.
I see that.
They should use him because he had the macho vibe going.
A Kurt Russell type.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Whoa.
Not Kurt Russell type. Sorry.
Russell Crowe.
Russell. I got the Russell part right.
Kurt Russell Crowe.
Kurt Russell. Now that's something I want to see.
Yeah. And then Haja, who is
Kamal.
I thought he was great.
He was great.
He was good. His character kind of bothered me at first, and then
His character bothered me, but I thought he did it well, and I want to see more of it.
like, oh,
Yeah.
that's embarrassing.
It was. It's kind of like in Boba Fett. They had that one guy who worked for the mayor that kept coming around. He was a Twi'lek,
Oh,
and he was really annoying to me for some reason. It just I like this. I like Kamal Nanjiani, but at first I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, and then when he flipped, I was like, okay, cool.
And it was like he was in. It seemed to me like he was in so reverence of the Jedi. That's why he copied them. And then like once it really happened, he was like, "I'm not gonna lie to a fucking Jedi. Like I really like he really did. Revere them." And
yeah,
like,
he's like, I'm like, imitation is the best form
Yeah.
of flattery, kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, Vivian Lyra Blair was Princess Leia. I
Little
thought
Leia.
I think she did a fantastic job.
I can't stand her.
Yeah, I
not
think-
her, but
I think they're
it's
gonna.
not just her. It's child actors in general. Like a lot of them.
I think she's doing a great little Padme. I mean, which is the thing. Like
Yeah.
that scene where he's like, "You
great.
remind me of somebody I used to know." Like that's
I thought
She
that was
saves-
gold.
it's touching the heartstrings.
And I have a feeling they're going to
just-
come out with the. I'm ready for the adventures of Leia and Lola, with her going on adventures with the little robot.
It's
or
a
little
toy
robot.
to sell. Absolutely, that toy's
Just-
going to be
just
hotcakes.
send
And
her
they
home.
do have a toy
Like,
for it
she's-
too.
Do they?
Yeah,
The Lola
they're making
one?
a toy.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
it's
Of course
it's
they do.
it's going to sell. Flea.
What? There's,
Flea?
there's Star Wars merchandise out there.
Toy,
Like,
Star
what?
Wars toy.
Send her home. She'll be fine. She'll be fine.
Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers made a.
Alderman's not far away. It's California.
California.
And he got to be
California.
On, got to be on Alderaan. Look at that. How fancy is that?
Yeah.
How sad is that when they're like, Leia, one of these days, everything the sun touches will be yours. And you're like, it's more like a star. It is a sun, but it's a star. Turns out it's one of the death ones. And it's gonna take out your whole planet.
I thought he did a good job.
Damn, dude. Damn.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
I'm gonna take it dark, and then I'm out.
And take it easy. Everybody dies.
I had I thought I saw James Earl Jones's
Yeah, he's
voice
in there.
being used.
Yep.
Now, if you look, it says James Earl Jones as Darth Vader, but it also, if you keep looking, it says Respeecher in there later in the credits. So what I think they did, I think they profiled James Earl Jones's voice, and I think maybe they're using somebody
He's
else.
getting up there. He's getting.
'Cause he's super old,
getting
but they
old.
got plenty of audio to go through. So I have a feeling, and I even heard. I was listening to somebody on YouTube. It might have been New Rock Stars or somebody, but they were saying, yeah, and if you listen, it almost sounds like you're hearing Anakin's voice and James Earl Jones is mixed.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, how cool would that be if Anakin went in or went and recorded these lines? I don't know. I need to do some
They just
research.
kinda got it on the-
And then they used Respeecher to make him into James Earl Jones's Vader voice. If that's what they did, and you had Hayden Christensen sitting there saying, "The last time we met, blah blah blah,"
Right.
come to the, whatever, and like, that's really cool.
I love it.
Like, super cool. I don't know. I need to do more research on this, but that got me really excited. I'm really excited about the technology we have for a lot of these things. I don't necessarily want them to put together a new Han Solo show using deep fake and
Right, I mean-
and samples of Harrison Ford's voice, but
I kind of do.
but I kinda do.
Kinda do.
But if it works, it works, So, well, let's talk about and you got to go pretty quick,
Yeah,
right?
I think actually this is a good time. I'm going to
This is
go
a
and
good
bow out now.
Awesome.
I love being here. I'd love to come back for
Absolutely, man. Anytime.
episode 4 coming out tonight, actually. And Ms. Marvel's
Oh,
coming out tonight.
man.
A lot of stuff to discuss coming out.
Dude, there's so much stuff. Like you said, Miss Marvel, we got and we'll just shut it down right now. And Curtis, I'll get with you offline, and if you want to keep going, maybe we'll start another stream here in a minute.
well, thanks for having me for now. Sorry to shut it down.
Actually,
early,
no,
guys.
let's not shut it down.
Yeah, just keep going. I'm just
yeah.
bouncing out. We'll
All
check it
right,
out
dude.
next time, and I'm gonna go tell some jokes. But I will see everybody soon. Thanks for having me, like always, and
Hell yeah, man.
appreciate you guys.
Always good to see you,
yeah,
brother.
for sure. Thanks for having me. and
Love you, Nav.
Enjoy, love you too, buddy. Enjoy Obi-Wan Kenobi episode 4 tonight. I think it's gonna be a good one.
I think so, too.
one. Take it
It's
easy, guys.
coming.
All right, brother. Take it easy. Knock 'em dead.
I will.
Booty, booty, baby. Booty,
Booty
booty.
booty. I'm gonna put I'm going to put Obi-Wan in his seat up here. There we go.
All right.
No, it's all good, man.
Just leave at the garage, or
Yeah, just go at the garage. All right, man. We'll see you soon.
yeah, sure. Thanks, man.
All right. Well, do you seem to accept fear as an excuse, huh?
Yeah. So, especially whenever we're talking about episode 1, we'll say was the most excited I've been of any Star Wars or Marvel franchise series that they've had coming up. Like it was so good. Like in episode 1 it hit, and I was like, I've been waiting for this forever. Most time with Marvel and Star Wars, it takes 2 or 3 episodes. Episode 1 hit. Episode 2 was good. It started like the Leia, and I know that's a plot point, but the Leia stuff started to slow me down. Like I know, and again, they're building it for kids. If kids watch this show, but whenever the aliens are chasing her and they're like running into trees and stuff, it's what's happening here? But okay, all right, kids are gonna watch. I have little kids; they're gonna watch that and be like, "Yeah, I can get away from bad guys," and that's good. That's what I want. You run from bad guys.
Hit pause for 1 second. We're just going to get rid of all these people. It's just going to be you and me in here. Boom.
Me and you and me, and maybe some Obi-Wan. We'll make it 3. You can put him in the middle there.
There we go.
It'll be fine. He doesn't have a booty. I can't wait to see episode 4 of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
There it is.
Now
look at this. Look how good we look.
This is beautiful. Oh my God.
All right.
This is gorgeous. But when we get to episode 3, like this is when it really starts to bug me, but this is when it really started to make sense to me if we're talking about fear. Because the whole he's sad, he's broken, yeah, okay, yeah, you know what? Like if you think of Jedis like ninjas. You train from when you're a little kid to when you're a grown up. Like that just doesn't disappear. You don't forget how to ride a bike after 10 years. Okay. Like it doesn't go and that's just something, or you don't, if once you learn how to swim, you might not be the best swimmer in the world, but you know how to swim after 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you're trained, legitimately, seriously trained your whole life, it doesn't go away. And they're acting like it went away. Now, whenever you bring in the fear aspect.
Yes, that's it's terror. He is terror and trauma. He's filled with trauma and fear and like murdered, dude. Everyone he knows has been murdered. Everyone except for one important person that he's supposed to take care of. And he doesn't want any trouble because trouble leads to death.
But let me ask you this. So, if you watched episode 3,
mm-hmm.
in my opinion, Vader straight up lets him go.
He absolutely did. But let's also talk about.
Why?
But let's walk this back a little bit. For those of you who don't know or haven't seen episode 3, if you don't want any spoilers, you better get out of here. Darth Vader ends up showing up, and it's great, but people are like,
well, in episode
why couldn't
2
he
or
fight?
something.
Why wasn't he fighting? Blah, blah. He's seeing a ghost. He's seeing a zombie. He thought he was dead. He's thought his brother, who he's known since he was a toddler, who he basically raised, was dead. Who he basically killed, actually, and all of a sudden he's there. Like that's like death of a family member, and then they're back to life, and he's completely freaked out and scared. Also, is really cool when he saw him. Darth Vader sensed him instantly. Darth Vader started hurting people to intimidate him. And
oh yeah,
that was so awesome. He's like and he's like, he could see me, he could feel it, you know, and
He didn't know where he
starts
was.
dragging.
But he was like,
Yeah,
I'm
he
gonna
didn't.
draw him out.
Yeah, but I could feel he could see me, and he starts dragging people through the streets, and then drags somebody else and kills them, breaks their neck, and I was like, this is so fucking badass. Like, I was really excited when all that was happening because I love Mean Vader. I think it's awesome. The end of Rogue One, best Star Wars in the history of Star Wars. The ending where Vader shows up and like it leads up to the beginning of Episode 4. I was like, it's incredible. So anyway, so go ahead, Chris. What do you got?
No, so but that's things though. They in Episode 2, maybe 1, they tell him Anakin's alive, you know, and he know, and that's where it breaks, you know. He's like, oh shit, so he knows Anakin's alive. I don't know if he's got to know he's Vader.
He didn't know he was alive. He's thought he's been dead for years.
No, they tell him. They straight up tell him. They're like, you know, he's alive, right? You know, in one of the episodes before
it was
meeting.
the end of Episode 2. Yes, and that's the best. Yeah. The best too. His expression, the look in his face. Yeah. He's like, it's really good acting.
Now, and so they throw down, and Obi-Wan barely kind of holds his own. He doesn't do any Force stuff, and you can tell. And again, that's just like muscle reaction. He's just like he's fighting Vader off just you know, from training, you know, and you can tell Vader's not trying that hard, and Vader wants to torture him, but at the end, don't necessarily spoil it, but it's Episode 3, and you know, we all know. Spoilers alert: Obi-Wan lives. Okay, like spoiler alert for a 40-year-old movie. Obi-Wan, he's gonna live. Okay, but Vader basically, it seems to me that Vader basically lets him go. And why would you? Because his whole thing, his whole thing for Sister 3, the third sister, is find Obi-Wan. I want to kill Obi-Wan. And Obi-Wan turns you into Darth Vader, like turns you into this mechanical mess, like in his mind. Okay,
he's toying with him, and the reason he's letting him go. He is, and the reason he's letting him go is because he wants to find where he wants to follow him to where he goes to kill everyone.
Maybe, but I think so. And that's the thing. I think Obi-Wan has been afraid. That's why he hasn't used his powers. And like I said, just not even helping or like y'all were saying, like we were all saying, not even helping the other guy, the other Jedi go hide your lightsaber. That's fear. That's fear. And as Yoda says, fear leads to hate. Hate leads to the dark side. Anger leads to whatever it is. But fear is the first stepping stone. And I think Vader's like sees that fear and he's like, he can be turned. And we might see an episode where Obi-Wan's thinking like, maybe they're right, you know, maybe we.
Oh yeah, they might try. They might be turning it, like try to turn him. He might almost turn. That'd be wild.
He's like, what's the point? What's the point? Because, and he's so afraid. That's what I mean. Because that's the thing, is that fear is crippling him, and like Vader senses that, and he's like, you know what? What's the bet? What better? Yeah, I can kill him. I can kill him right now. But to break him and bring him to my side, that's even worse. And that might be, you know,
that
big
might be what they're
shift.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So, but otherwise, I mean, it's just been spectacular. All the roles have been great. I don't like little Leia. I don't like many little kid roles. Like, that's not just me. That's a normal thing, you know.
Dude,
like,
running.
But I get it. I get it. You know, that's not for me. It's for my kids. You know, and I'm sure they would like her. You know.
Running through the woods and all that, the chase scene, and everybody's been talking about that. It almost reminds me of the scooter the Vespa gang. You know what I mean? Like yeah. It's like,
and that's what I mean. Like a kid, my kids are gonna see that like guy spinning around and be like, "That's so fucking awesome," because they're little kids, you know. And we're adults and we're like, he just got shot like 42 times.
Yeah,
like,
do you really have to spin around? You know? And like, really, I watched a video and this guy was talking about this guy was super negative and he was really bagging on this show. And I'm really enjoying
Obi-Wan
this show.
or Boba.
Obi-Wan, and
Oh,
it's
wow.
yeah, this guy's channel. It's interesting. I listen to a lot of different YouTube channels, and
I'd like to
some
hear that, actually.
some people are real negative and shitty, and some people are real positive and excited for everything, and everything from here and there, but like this guy was basically, he's like, this is why Obi-Wan is stupid, and he was going through and just tearing this show apart. And one of the things he's like, oh yeah, let's not forget Leia running through the forest like a toddler runs at like 0.5 miles per hour, and the grown-ups who couldn't catch her, and he actually put the Benny Hill music and made a thing. Yeah, and it had this little girl running, and it showed him unable to, and then when she goes underneath the tree vine, the root, she goes under the tree root, and the guy's like boonk, he hits that. They made sound effects. They had Benny Hill sound effects where it's like boonk.
He's like, oh god.
Yeah. It was really funny.
It was so bad. But that was bad. But again, like you were saying about earlier, Star Wars had the best of like carrying over new fans, and this is how they do it. Like, I'm fine with it. Like, it's okay. It's you can. It's not even certain episodes or certain movies anymore. You can pick out certain scenes, and it's like, okay, that wasn't meant for me. Like, that was meant for a younger audience or somebody else. Like, and that's okay. If they gear an entire show that way or an entire movie that way, fine. I'm not going to watch it that much.
Hold on, Curtis. I have a comment. It's called Yakety Sax. Yes, it's by Boots Randolph. Points. All right. The Benny Hill song.
Oh, I did not know.
It's called Yakety Sax. It's played by Boots Randolph. Yep.
Are you sure it's not called?
Yeah, the Benny Hill theme. Yeah,
but
not to be confused with Ace Cannon, another fantastic saxophone player. But more points.
Yeah, they're building new fan bases within, because they know old people like us are going to be watching these shows with their kids, and kids are going to remember certain scenes. That's just how it goes, Like, if you think of all the and that's why when you watch a movie, you're like, it doesn't hold up, because you remember certain scenes when you're a kid, you don't remember the whole movie. But they're going to remember these good parts, and then they think, okay, so let's watch the new one. It
reminds me of when I was a kid, I saw Time Bandits a whole bunch of times, but I couldn't tell you what that movie's about. I just remember it was awesome.
Well, I was going through my DVD collection. There's a movie I have called The Explorers with a young, child Ethan Hawke, and I was like, "What the hell is this movie? I don't even know what this movie is." But I own it.
We'll do that versus Gattaca.
Oh wow, who's better, young Ethan Hawke versus
old Ethan Hawke? Well, man, I'm excited. We'll see where it goes tonight. I was worried. I was worried that they were only going to have Darth Vader show up in the episode 6. Just show up in the finale, and we just get a little bit of him. And the fact that we saw him already, and he did some badass stuff, and everybody's making fun of the fire. That was another thing they pointed out, is that laser gate. He was having trouble turning off the laser gate, the one that chopped the stormtrooper in half.
Right.
Yeah, he's like, couldn't deactivate the laser gate that he could have walked around, and it showed he could have just walked around the gate. It's like it wasn't stopping anybody. And
stormtroopers aren't there for their brains, guys.
What also I noticed? No, that was Obi-Wan. What I also noticed is that after they got that thing deactivated, they didn't climb back into that carrier and drive off. They walked after that, and I was like, why did they walk? You know what I mean? Like, you have a perfectly good truck, just climb back in there, move the dead bodies out of the way, and just drive on. It was pretty funny, but anyway. All right.
Well, and they had the guy from Real Steel there protecting him, the robot.
Oh yeah, that was funny. A lot of people are like, "Why didn't Darth Vader just just lifted him up out of the flames and choked him in the air. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
tossed that robot aside, that droid aside.
He let him go, baby. He let him go.
He did. That was intentional. So we'll see. I think he wanted to scare the crap out of him. He probably wants to see where he's going, who he's working with. He wants to kill all of them, and then he'll come after him. And I think you might be right onto something. I think he might want to turn him to the dark side, which is actually really cool. That's a really cool idea. Yeah, that'll be really neat. And if you start to see Obi-Wan's eyes turn red, flicker red for a second or something, that would be even cooler. Because there are Jedis that have like turned back. Yeah. So that would be cool if they explored that. That would be really cool. Yes, sir. Let's see. Well, cool, man. Well, I think we should shut her down. And I'm getting excited, man. Getting excited for tonight. Tonight late. Gonna get to watch some more Obi-Wan.
Getting excited for tomorrow morning.
Dude, there's so much stuff coming, man. We've got yeah, I'm staying up.
Obi-Wan.
You got so much stuff. You got Obi-Wan, we got Miss Marvel, we got The Boys. How are you yeah? How are you liking The Boys?
Oh yeah.
Loving it?
So as of Friday, I had never seen The Boys. As of today, I'm all the way caught up. Like within the last 2 days, I literally caught up completely. It's such a spectacular show. I can't like, and again, I'm kind of pissed off that I caught up because like now I gotta. It's only a couple days, but like I gotta wait. And it's such a great show. I'm actually gonna go through and listen to comic book on Audible. But like I really it's so well done. It's
dude.
So
how good? How good? Hold on, I'm gonna get out of this screen because I'm just gonna get rid of this. Boom. Boom. And boom. All right. Because we shouldn't be advertising. Boom. Here we'll do that. Yeah, I think. Oh, I was gonna say, how good is Homelander? Like that actor that plays Homelander is so good. Like
he's so amazing. Yes.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
And how he can just it's not that he's bad. He's not bad at all, but his best lines are when he's not delivering lines. Whenever he does his facial expression,
he's creepy too. Like drinking the milk and all that stuff. And it's just like he's creepy and he's
talking.
He's like a psycho. He's a psychopath, and it's like it's really really good. Like they really nailed it with that. Fantastic actor.
And I recognize him. I can't place him. But he is just so well. Just I mean, and Carl Urban.
Yeah, he's awesome
too.
And
that's what I mean. So binge watching it through, season 3, like he's so great, and you can see it at the same time. His transition as a character. Now, we're talking about how many years it was, but like you can see his transition so well. And I will say, as a newbie.
Yeah.
At the end of season 1, like I thought it was going to end, something. But with Becca being alive, spoiler alert, with Becca being alive and then them doing that, and like I was just like, oh my, like what? Because at first I was like, yeah, all right, this is pretty good. And then once they introduced that, and it was like this whole, they just flipped the script on you, and it was like, oh my god, like what is happening now? Like. It's just so well done. It's just such a good show. And it's sadly and scarily, like the most true American version of who superhumans, that I've seen. Like it's like this American would make superhumans a corporate enterprise, and like it's just so true to life. And
Dude, there's
uh
so many funny little things that they make fun of, and kind of like that mirror our society that
yes,
they put in there. It's really great. Like, and nothing's sacred either. Like the amusement park, they go in there
hmm
and they had all the in the like inclusion land or whatever.
yeah,
It was like, and
exactly.
they were poking fun at all of everything. It was really funny. I was like, God,
Well,
dude, how are these guys gonna not get canceled for all of these things that they're joking about? You know?
because but that's the thing, is that like it is kind of a joke until like because anybody would women's rights, or people's any people's rights. Like it shouldn't be certain people, it just should be rights. It's just rights. And whenever it comes down to it, like they do these things, and like the portrayal is good, and because you haven't seen it before, but like everybody wants it to be just like regular old white people like us. Like, hey, look, there's white people on TV kissing, or
Right.
and we don't you don't even think about it. That's what everybody wants to get to. They don't want it to be this product placement thing like that. And that's what corporations do. That's what they
Yeah.
like. It's like, hey, what's oh yeah, inclusion is popular, and it should be popular. It should be there, but like not as a selling point, not to make
Yeah.
money
Hey,
off of.
buy our
Like,
Pepsi products. We put, and they'll do a whatever, change their profile picture for their product online, or whatever. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like,
Coca-Cola stands with you, or
yeah,
whatever.
it's like, no, we just want to like where you don't even notice us. Like we're just human society. Like no matter what race, gender, creed, sexual orientation, whatever it is. Like that's what I mean. Like it's so weird to me that we have to make these different anti-discrimination laws in America. Okay, not to get into a whole thing. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but like like they're not covered under Title IX. They're not covered under this. They're not covered under that. Like discrimination shouldn't be a thing. Like
Yeah, it shouldn't.
we America is right. I mean, America is designed as a meritocracy. That's what we're told from the day we are born to the day we die. America is, if you're the best, you get the best. You earn you do the best, you get the best. And like it doesn't matter, that's that, and that's the idea of capitalism, which is like that's a whole different thing. But that's it. When we have to allow for special provisions for discrimination, no matter what it is, like it doesn't work out that way. That's not a
Right.
level playing field. It's like there shouldn't be discrimination, period. Like whether you're old, whether you're gay, whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're like whether you feel like you're a man, whether you feel like you're a woman, like it doesn't matter. Like if you're the best at your job, you should get paid the most at your job. That period.
Yeah.
Like you should like if you're not hurting anybody, who cares what you do? Like you're not hurting
I agree with
anybody.
you, man. I agree.
But anyway, I got off on a rant there. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good, man. But yeah, like it is funny. There's a lot of social issues, a lot of things that the boys will poke fun of, and
Yes.
whether it's, I mean, religion and government and corporations and social media and all kinds of funny things, and
And they do it so well.
yeah, it's tasteful or not tasteful. It's like it.
Well,
Yeah, no, that show isn't tasteful. It's gloriously
No, but-
not tasteful. But they do it so well, and they never cease to surprise me with how good the show is, and the acting is fantastic on like everyone. Every character is really good. So,
and the allegory of power, because you've got the most powerful. You've got Superman, basically bowing to corporate America, and that's the allegory of power. It seems like there might be a shift in season 3, but who knows? you know. But like that's what I mean. Like, you've got the allegory of power, and it's like, yeah, you can kill everybody, but then who's gonna love you?
Yeah.
You know,
I keep waiting for
like,
him to lose Homelander
he's
to lose it and
gonna.
just kill everyone. just everyone. Yeah. Well, all right. Well, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. This was a show about Star Wars that we morphed into talking about The Boys. Why? Because it's just so many good shows out there. You can't. It's hard to just talk about one. We got The Boys. We got Miss Marvel coming this week. We've got Top Gun still in the theaters. Holy smokes! We just did a trailer review.
Lightyear comes out next week.
Lightyear comes out next week. We just did a trailer reaction for Prey, the up-and-coming Predator movie that's going to be on Hulu. It's just so much stuff, and it's so nice after such a long dry spell during the apocalypse that now we're getting all the stuff. So, cool. Well, guys, if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe, and we're going to keep cranking out videos about all your favorite stuff. So we're going to see you guys soon. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. And we'll see you guys later. I stole your move.
Don't steal my thing, dude.